Okay, what if the solution to our massive plastic problem wasn't some giant far-off factory, but a little box sitting right there on your kitchen counter? Today we're diving into a really cool concept that could let you turn your own plastic trash into treasure.
We all do it, right? We wash out the yogurt cups, we sort our plastics, we put them in the bin, and we kind of just hope for the best. But let's be real, there's always that little voice in the back of your head asking, where does this actually go?
Well, the unfortunate truth is that for a lot of household plastic, the journey pretty much ends right there, in a landfill. But what if that journey didn't have to end? What if, instead of shipping it away, we could transform it right where we are? That's the whole idea behind this concept, the polybox.
So let's get right to the heart of it. Why do we even need something like this? Well, it's because our household plastic waste, all those films and flimsy packages, is a total nightmare for the big traditional recycling plants. Here's the breakdown of why the current system just can't keep up. First off, you've got food gunk and sticky labels all over everything. That's contamination. Then there are a ton of different plastic types all mixed together, which makes them super hard to separate. And on top of all that, the high heat processes they use are just incredibly complex and suck up a ton of energy. It's an inefficient mess. So, instead of trying to fix this massive, clunky, centralized system, this concept flips the script. It brings the solution right into your home. It's about a personal appliance that doesn't just recycle, it actually upcycles your plastic waste into something genuinely new and useful.
So, what is the polybox really? At its heart, it's designed to be a household machine. It takes all that common plastic waste, I'm talking bags, films, container lids, and it transforms it into new raw materials, all inside a safe little unit that's meant to live in your kitchen. Okay, now this is super important for understanding the whole project. The strategy is split into two tracks. Think of track A as the reality, the simple, practical machine we could build right now. And track B? That's the vision, the futuristic upgrade path for tomorrow, built with some seriously cool optional add-ons.
So let's start with track A. This is the minimal viable appliance. The whole goal here is to be practical, to be safe, and to tackle the most common plastics that fill up our bins. Stuff like yogurt lids and plastic bags, which are usually polypropylene and polyethylene. And the process itself is wonderfully simple. The machine quietly shreds the plastic, then gives it a hot wash and a spin dry to get it clean. After that, it gently melts the plastic flakes at a really safe, low temperature. We're talking 210 degrees Celsius or less. And then it presses all that melted plastic into these small, uniform pellets.
So you've got a batch of these fresh plastic pellets. What now?
Well, they could literally become the fuel for a simple 3D printer. Or you could use them in small-scale molding projects. They could even be a filler for making composite materials, like wood plastic decking. It basically turns your waste into a resource, especially for makers and DIY folks. Now, this is what I find really fascinating, the design goals they've set. Get this, they're targeting energy use that's less than running your coffee maker for an hour. It's designed to be about as quiet as a modern dishwasher, and it would even capture over 85% of the microplastics in its own water system. And the target price? Under $250 to make it accessible. Okay, so let's shift gears to track B. If you thought track A was cool, this is where the concept builds into something truly next level. This is where this simple machine gets a series of high-tech plug-and-play upgrades. And the key word here is modularity. You don't need a whole new machine. Track B is all about optional modules you could add to that core Track A unit, beefing up its capabilities with some really advanced science. So the first upgrade is called Smart Sort. This little module uses a near-infrared sensor and some AI to automatically figure out what kind of plastic you just put in. Is it PET, polypropylene, polystyrene? It takes all the guesswork out of sorting for you. Pretty slick. Now this is where it gets really futuristic. A second upgrade module uses low-energy plasma and this special magnetic catalyst, which they describe as a kind of pollen, to break down plastics at way lower temperatures, like 110 to 120 degrees Celsius. That's so much more efficient than the old-school high-heat methods. Okay, so you see this number here, 40 to 60 watts. It might not seem like a lot, right? It's about the same as an old incandescent light bulb. But in the context of this machine, it represents a totally revolutionary idea. What if it could help power itself? That 40 to 60 watts is what a tiny catalytic microburner could potentially generate. This upgrade would capture flammable gases released during the chemical process and convert their energy back into electricity to help run the appliance. It creates a genuinely closed-loop system. Amazing! So here's the crucial point. This vision doesn't just stop at one person's kitchen counter. The whole concept is designed to scale up and create an impact at the community level.
And this isn't just wishful thinking. There's a proposed roadmap. It kicks off in early 2026 by actually building and testing that basic Track A machine. Then it moves to developing those advanced modules in the lab, testing shared units in a community pilot program, and finally, getting beta units into homes to see how they perform in the real world.
This all scales up to what they call the poly neighborhood. Imagine shared community hubs that have the most advanced versions of these machines. A system where you could earn plastic credits for every kilogram you process, and community dashboards that show everyone, transparently, exactly how much waste is being saved from the landfill. It's a real vision for a local, circular economy. You know, this quote from the source document just perfectly nails the whole philosophy. It's all about building something that's safe and practical for us to use today, while never, ever losing sight of the cutting-edge research that could totally redefine our relationship with plastic tomorrow. And that really just leaves us with this one big provocative thought. What if we've been looking at recycling all wrong? Maybe the future isn't about building bigger and bigger plants somewhere far away. Maybe it's about empowering every single home to close the loop themselves, one plastic container at a time.